Okay, now that we have the room drawn in, let's go and let's start making our equipment. So I'm just going to drop a rectangle here and let's dimension it. So this thing is going to be 4 foot by 3 foot piece of machinery. And as I look at it, we have those in there. And what we have now is our little piece of machinery in there. We really don't need to see the dimensions. We need them there to control what things look like. So I'm just going to highlight them. I'm going to right click on them and I am just going to say hide. So the dimensions are there. It's been dimensioned. We're just not showing them. Okay, so what I want to do is we're going to put this in the upper right hand corner of the room. And uh-oh, it looks like it's not letting me move it here. Did we get, there we go. I grabbed it on the point so I can move it over. Now I want to put it up against the wall here. And so I am going to just raise this up to here. I'll leave a little bit in the corner of the room. Doesn't really matter. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to fix this upper point. Once again, to just lock everything in place. And there it's all black. It's fully defined. Once again, I don't like using fixed constraints when we're doing 3D modeling, but in 2D stuff, that is completely fine. So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go into annotations. So what we're going to do is going to annotate. We're going to go to note because we want to label what this machine is. And this is going to be our tensile test machine. Now, we've got a lot of things here. All these things are kind of like what you would expect to see from Word or Excel or whatever. So we're just going to change that to Arial. And we'll leave it, we'll make it kind of bigger. Let's see, 20. Notice that it didn't change because that wasn't highlighted. So we'll go back here. We'll make sure that's Arial. And that's set at 20. There we go. And then we're just going to kind of take this and hit OK. And leave that one there. Hit escape. I'll grab that later. And then I'm just going to move that text to here. The reason I left this one here is I'm going to come back and grab that because we're going to label some other stuff. So I'm just going to pull it off over the sheet so that way I don't have to change the formatting again. Okay, so let's draw a next piece of machinery. So we'll go into Sketch. We're going to grab another rectangle. Same process that we did before. We're going to make this one 4 foot wide and then by 2 foot tall. And then we're going to get out of the dimension tool. I'm going to hide the dimensions again because we don't need them. Go to hide. And so there they are. And then taking a look at that. What else do we want to do? 4 by 2. And I actually want to, I don't like where that is. Because I'm actually going to put these along the wall here because these are going to be my cabinets. And so what I need to do is I need to go into here. And I want to show my dimensions. Let's see. You know something? I don't remember how to unhide those dimensions. So since I don't really want to look that up right now, I'm just going to roll that back. And then I want to change this to, now I want this to be 2 feet. And then this to be 4 feet. I could have rotated it and done a bunch of other stuff, but this just seems to be the easiest way to do it. Okay, now I'm going to take those and hide those dimensions. There is a way to unhide them. I just don't, I don't remember off the top of my head. And I really don't want to look it up right now. So we'll hide those. Now what I want to do is I want to put a name on these guys too. So I'm going to go to annotation. Actually, I've already got an annotation right there. That's why I saved this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on this one. I want to change this to cabinet. Cabinet. And then I want to rotate it. I'm going to come over here and rotate it 90 degrees. since you do have that rotated. And there we go. I'm just going to click. I'm going to drag that in there like that. I'm going to plop that guy right down. And then I'm going to highlight everything, because I'm going to drag this into the corner and put it about right there. Oh, name didn't go with it, so I'll just drag that over to there. And then I'm going to want to copy that, because I don't like where that is. Also, I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to fix the corner to lock that into place. Control C, Control V. Handy dandy little copy there. I'm going to drag that there and put the cabinet there. Also, I'm going to drag the dimensions outside of the room like they should be. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to take this guy and this guy. I'm going to make them collinear, put them on the same line. And then I'm just going to fix that point there. Oh, since I copied it, it didn't copy the dimensions over, though. It's kind of annoying. So we're just going to go and put a 2-foot dimension in there. And then our 4-foot dimension here. And say that that's okay. And then once again, I'm going to hide the dimension. So click those two. And oh, I'm still in the dimension tool, so I got to get out of that. Click those two, and then go. Oh, I'm physically still in the dimension. I see the dimension tool. Okay, so click, click, hide. There we go. And so that takes care of that. And what do we want to do? Looking at the room, we do have one more cabinet. So once again, I am going to select all of this. I'm going to go copy, and I'm going to paste that over here. And then we're going to move this cabinet. Once again, it moved around on me. Let's put our dimensions in. 2 foot. And that should be 4 foot. And then we'll get out of that. We'll hide our dimensions again. I will highlight this thing. I will drag it down into this corner, pull the cabinet name down with it. There are ways to make blocks, and if you look in the book, it will talk about making blocks and whatnot. I'm not really going to worry about that right now. And so the last thing is we do want to just slap down a desk and an inspection bench. So let's do that now. So we'll sketch out a desk up here. Sorry, an inspection bench up here. Do the same thing we've done with the other one. So we should have this down by now. So that is a 8-foot bench. That is 4 foot wide, 3 foot wide. And then we will put a desk over here. Kind of on the same lines as everything else. And so we've got a desk that's 2 foot 6. 2 foot 6 inches. And then it is 4 feet wide, so 4 foot. And then we're going to go in here and just once again hide all these dimensions. Still in the dimension tool, it's not going to work. Hide. And then I need to label those, so I'm just going to copy and paste. Control C, Control V, and then Control C, Control V. formatting's all done. And that's our desk. That's our inspection bench. Now, of course, none of these things are locked into place. So once again, I'm just going to go and in the corners here, just fix the corners so that they are all fully constrained. Now, we can play around with things here too. So like I've got that fixed constraint here. If I get rid of that, let's say that we wanted to have this thing at an angle. Actually, let me get rid of that coincident too. So let's say that I wanted this thing at an angle. I can do that just like I would do my models. So we'll come in here and actually, I don't want to use the smart dimension. I want to use the angular dimension. So we'll come here and say, let's make it angular. Baseline vertical, horizontal. Huh. Well, I take that back. Unlike, you have to use a smart dimension. That's kind of odd. So let's set this up though to make sure that it's not going to break. So I have those two. I don't want them to be. We need to get rid of actually all the constraints because this is set up to be horizontal. We don't want it to be horizontal if we're going to rotate it. Don't want that to be horizontal. Don't want that to be vertical. Right click on that, go select other. Just select that line, get rid of the vertical. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to say these two are going to be parallel to each other. And select other. Just want the short line. We want those two to be parallel to each other. And then I want these two lines to be perpendicular. That forces it to stay a rectangle. So now if I grab this, I can move this over. And I'm going to just throw in a little bit of an angle there. So now that it's an angled, I can go and let's put on a smart dimension. And we'll put an angle in there. Let's say that we want that 35 degrees off the wall. And then I'm just going to kind of, we'll say that we'll just put this point up against this wall there. Make them coincident. Get some interference in the cabinets here. So let's remove that fixed point. Just drag that cabinet down a little bit so it doesn't bump up against the tensile tester there. And then I can come in here, I'll do the same thing with the text. 35 degrees. That's the other way, so it's going to be it's 270 minus 35. Whoa, no it's not. Not quite sure what. Okay, so the angle goes from this way. It should have just been 35 degrees. Okay, negative 35 degrees. There we go. So we match that up, get that in there. Now obviously this thing can still slide along here. So we can either put a dimension in controlling that point, or once again it is just a 2D layout. I can just fix it in there. And then get rid of that coincident point, because that coincident point's over constraining it. And there we go. That is, we'll put the fixed back in here too. And so that's how we play around with 2D layouts in SOLIDWORKS.